everybody, welcome to another part of my Let's Play of Donkey Kong 64. This is Angry Aztec, and we're going to pick up from where we left off last time, where we unlocked entrance to the new world. We went through the first part of Jungle Japes in the last episode, and beat the boss and handed in the key, the first of many keys to K. Lumsy. We still got a while to go though, and we will go back to Jungle Japes. But now we're on our way to the second world. These dirt patches here are going to have more significance soon, but I will explain them when they have a bit more significance, because we cannot do anything with them yet. So we follow this path. I actually have to do a bit of traveling this time. And we get to the hub of our next area. So now the banana ports are going to start becoming more useful than they were beforehand. And this is one of the first lobbies where lobbies will usually have something that you can do. Jungle Japes, you might have noticed, had a boulder lying on top of something, which will quickly become relevant now that we're in this world. And those gongs will become useful too. So B-Locker is now asking for 5 bananas this time. Come on, I haven't got all day. Show me the bananas and I'm out of this dump. Will do. And now for a little humorous cutscene to start the level. That meddlesome monkey should be burnt to a crisp by now. Where's that armadillo? I'm sorry, Master. He was too quick for me, but I'll get him next time. Imbecile. I don't like failure. Do you know what happens to failures? Gulp. I've waited too long for this. I won't let those flea-bitten monkeys ruin my plans this time. So, K-Rool doesn't seem too happy about the fact that his minion failed. But we are in Angry Aztec now. As you might have been able to tell from the level's lobby and the outside of the lobby, it is a desert theme level. This is one of the better examples of a desert level done well in my opinion, but we'll get into why that is soon. So, this is one of the first levels that actually starts to provide a bit more of environmental based danger. There wasn't really a ton in Jungle Japes, but stuff like the quicksand here will have a noticeable effect on your health. It'll harm you if you stand in it. We're also going to get a bit more variety of enemies, such as Kremlings. Those will become a mainstay now. Oh, and we have a cutscene. We see a llama. What's he doing in there? Listen to me! The key to my freedom lies in the clouds! Well, we're gonna have to figure out what he means later. First off, we have a new kind of shop. So. And I'm not gonna say a word before I read this dialogue. Candy's Music Shop. Can you tell the people were adults making this game? Get into that more in a minute, though. Well, hello, Donkey. You just take it easy and let Candy tell you how she's gonna make you feel real good. Why, for just a few little old coins, you can have my musical instruments and extra melons, too. Come on now, Donkey. For just 3 coins, I'll show you my musical instrument and throw in an extra melon for free. Let's give it a try, shall we? What if we don't? Bongo Blast! So, get the bongos. That's pretty cool. Stand a little closer, Donkey, and I'll show you how to use your instrument. Press and hold Z, then press C up. Its sound wave blast will deafen most Kremlings, but will also reduce the instrument's energy. Top up its energy by finding some headphones. You won't lose any energy if it is played when you're standing on a music pad, and all sorts of amazing things are likely to happen too. You've all got another melon too. It'll hopefully make things a little easier. You have all the latest stuff from me. Come see me later, okay? So yeah, I don't know how they got away with that in a kid's game, but I mean, I didn't notice it at all when I was younger, so, if I didn't notice it, a bunch of kids won't notice it until they're much older. But, ignoring those facts, Candy sells the Kong's musical instruments that have a noticeable effect on the world, so that will come in handy very soon. And, like she said, she gave DK the bongos, Most people are probably familiar with the bongos from the crappy GameCube games that came with the bongo controllers, but then again, those games were also pretty obscure as well, so maybe not a ton of people know. So those will become useful. And because a lot of the levels, at least the first few, seem to take a focus on a particular Kong, and the last level was very much Donkey-centric because Donkey was one of the only Kongs besides Diddy that we had to start with. This one is very much the opposite. It starts with Diddy. Also, for whatever reason, whenever I start a new save file, and I'm assuming it's similar with most save files in the game, your save will, for whatever reason, cut each amount of supply you have in half, whether that's ammo boxes, or orange grenades, or whatever the case may be. We're gonna go and get Diddy's, which you've probably seen. Actually, no, Guitar Gazump. This is one of the few things we get for Diddy in this level that isn't seen, and honestly, I kind of wish it was, because it's pretty cool. We see him with his peanut pop guns. I think maybe it happened before Brawl. It might have happened in Melee, but I do remember noticing that it was for sure a thing in Smash Brothers Brawl. If it happened in Melee, then I apologize. Maybe someone could let me know. But we definitely see his peanut pop guns as a Brawl. And there's another item that he gets in this level that is also seen in the modern day with Diddy Kong. So I'm surprised, out of all those three cool items, the guitar, the electric guitar, was never really seen again, because it seems like another badass feature of Diddy's character that, personally, I think is a bit sorely missed, but to each their own. So we are, before we're going to progress through the level, there's something important we need to do in here. So, like we rescued Diddy in the last level, this world will have us unlock not one, but two of the Kongs. They needed to kind of speed things along. And here she is now, the only female Kong, everybody. This is Tiny Kong. Sorry guys, I'm afraid they got me too. So, we shall free her. And this is a bit more complicated, slightly more, than hitting switches with your gun of choice. So, jump up here. And these platforms, these monkey tongues, will retract, oh, jeez, after a set amount of time. We come up here, and aim our gun. And if you didn't do the mount, I forgot to really, this is the thing about draw distance. I thought I had that, but I took my eye off it for a second. The mountain section is designed to prepare you for this, but if you hadn't done that before, then this would be your first time coming across it. Just be very careful coming across it. And now we can use our instruments on these musical pads that produce an effect in the world. This cracks the ice that now lets us swim under the water, and like we saw earlier, the last music pad opened up a gate to allow us to access the rest of the level. So they'll usually have different effects on the world around us. So now we can swim under here. Oh, yeesh. We kind of got a brief glimpse of it in Jungle Jays, but this is where it becomes a bit more evident. Underwater swimming is going to be a bitch. Specifically, trying to grab items with just accuracy. It's not fun. So, what we want to do, chimpy charge this switch. And platforms rise with these letters around the room. And if you look up at Tiny's cage, there's 4 different letters. So we got to spell out the word Kong, which, if you are over 3, should be fairly simple. Even as a 3-year-old, it was simple. So, and we just chimpy charge. Oh, the camera does not want to cooperate today. The camera is also not fun to deal with in this game. And we chimpy charge each of these letters. Do. And the G. There we go. Nice work, Diddy. Right then, I'll grab all the purple bananas I see. I'm off to the tag barrel, ready to kick a reptile butt. We also get introduced to this enemy, the Claptrap. Once you kill them initially, their mouths will chase you for a bit. They can still do damage, but they'll eventually break on their own, or you can run into them to destroy the teeth. Just watch out, because they literally have quite a nasty bite. Alright, so unlike the last world, Jungle Japes, where I did things in a fairly linear order, with Donkey Kong first and then Diddy Kong, as at this point, things will become a lot less linear. Generally, the first priority that we want to... The first thing you want to do when you enter any level is to make sure you get all the upgrades for each Kong, and get them as soon as possible so that you can get to doing stuff in the rest of the level, and then it just makes the process a lot smoother. And I just typically do stuff around the area or where it's convenient for me. So for example, if we go in here with Tiny, there we go. Squawk! Hello, Tiny, there are 5 gold bananas for you to find in here too. Bark! So her color is purple. So we'll buy her instrument while we can, because it's right here, and she needs to get her stuff at some point anyways. Yes. Tiny's crappy jump. So, we'll go in. Saxophone Slam. What's kind of neat about Tiny, they did bring her back. She was one of the few new characters in this game that was brought back. Actually, no, yeah, she was the only new character brought back in from this game that was brought back into future games. Lanky Kong, who we will also meet in this level, was brought back, but far less frequently, and even with Tiny it wasn't as frequent as other Kong's inclusions have been. But she certainly has developed at least a little bit more presence than Lanky Kong and the last Kong, who we will meet in the next world. But now we deal with this friggin' pathway. Even a seasoned player like myself, I was kind of rushing it, but it'd be a pain in the ass trying to traverse. Alright. So, there's 2 balloons for Donkey Kong in here. Actually, what Don't waste your ammo, kids. It ain't useful for you, it ain't useful for me. Damn on. There we go. Alright, so we're gonna get Donkey and Diddy's potions, and we need to get more coins for Tiny. Alright, Strong Kong, Strongum Kongus. Alright, so what does this do? Listen up, DK. Jump into my barrel with your furry face on it and you'll become temporarily invincible, depending on how long your crystal coconuts last. So we're introduced to a new type of supply called crystal coconuts, and therefore a new type of move, a barrel move. You might have noticed it when we first opened that gate with Donkey Kong. A barrel will appear with the Kong's face, you jump into it, and they use crystal coconuts. We're actually going to be getting Diddy Kong's barrel move here too. So, rocket barrel boost, boost him highest. So yeah, his rocket barrels that appear in Brawl also first appeared in this game. I don't know whether you deserve this gem. Oh, alright, jump into my barrel with your face on it to try out my prototype jet barrel. Take to the air if you can, but keep an eye on your crystal coconuts, as I'm afraid it's a bit thirsty. Press A to thrust, Z if you want to hover, and B to fire your pop guns. Amazing, huh? Yep, so amazing they continue to include it. So, yeah. This game introduced Diddy's pop guns and his jetpack into the world, and they lasted for at least quite a bit of time. They seem relevant and make Diddy look like a cool character. So, yeah. And now is the time. We saw zingers in the last level, but this is where they actively start dropping bombs or lime grenades to make your life a living hell. So, we will learn to deal with that. We will go back on to that path soon. But there's a much easier way to deal with it in a few minutes. I'm also planning, because the levels just get longer and longer from here on out, unlike the last episode where it took just half an hour to record the whole level because I was only dealing with 2 Kongs, they'll be split into multiple parts. It'll just make things a lot more manageable, and you guys have shorter videos to watch. Alright, so now we actually have the 3rd banana port unlocked. And now we'll get Tiny's move. And hers is also a barrel move for her first move, so. Mini Monkey, Kongum Smallos. So. Her namesake! You can now use my special barrel with your face on it. Leap into one and prepare to be amazed as you change size. You'll only be able to remain like this while your supply of crystal coconuts lasts, though. So yeah, as her name implies, she becomes, well, tiny. So, quite a novel idea, I know. But, yeah. So, that is probably her most used ability, aside from one that will be used, that we will get in the next level. And that is arguably more recognizable and more useful than Tiny Mini Monkey. But we'll see what that is soon enough. So, alright. We are going to go back to DK. So, actually, this is where, yeah, we're gonna do this. It's also a good idea to unlock the banana ports and get them out of the way at the beginning of each level. That way you're able to quickly travel around each level. Unfortunately, number 5, there's some banana ports that are just thrown into a level to get you to a secret location that another Kong otherwise wouldn't be able to access. And 5 is one of them, unfortunately. Otherwise, it would be a great port between 4 and 5, but alas, that's not what happened. So, and we have to deal with this annoying gap. And we don't have to worry about DK and Diddy's weapons, thankfully. But, yeah, there's a consequence of my impatience. But I'll heal up shortly after, so it won't have too much of an impact. Alright, and we get the feather bow. So yay, Tiny is all caught up now. And there, if you get a lot of those items bought, it saves you a lot of trouble later on when you're just trying to get through the level and do the things you need to do to progress. It saves a lot of trouble, I forgot. You are annoying. Great. But now we're finally going to do something about what that llama told us. That if we want to free him, his freedom lies in the clouds. Which was referring to our little barrel blast activity. So, this barrel blast actually is one of the few that doesn't have bananas or coins, and it's a lot shorter. It also introduces those blast barrels that'll take you through multiple at a time. So, and the star. Sometimes they'll end with stars, sometimes they'll end with a mini game, or a banana like we saw in the first one. There we go. Oh, thank you. I've got a soul banana. Take it. I'm off for home. There we go. And by freeing him, he unlocks switches on the sides of the temple, so we can now enter. Unfortunate. But I will wait to actually go inside. It's just a lot easier to grab the banana now so that you don't forget it. There have been a few times where I've gone inside the temple, done the stuff I need to do in there, and then completely forget that this banana is still sitting here. So, I can't actually remember what happens if you were to do things inside the temple, exit the level without collecting the banana, and then come back. But to keep this episode at a relatively decent length, like minimal or short or whatever you want to call it. We are going to unlock the second Kong in this level, get their upgrades, and then we're going to end the episode there and continue on with more tasks in the next episode. It'll just be a lot easier to break things down, and you'll be able to see a lot more action and grabbing collectibles later. So, although it will be tempting to do stuff in here, but we won't. Alright, so this is Lanky, everybody, the fourth Kong. Who's there? Can you come in here and give me a hand? It's kind of odd. It seems like the game considers Lanky the third Kong, but the programming says otherwise. It kind of conflicts. It seems like... Huh. This is very odd. Oh, never mind. For a second I was gonna say, there's normally a purple claptrap here that spawns, and it'll... I was gonna say, does it not spawn before you rescue Lanky? But apparently no, it just hadn't loaded yet. So, what we want to do, step on the musical pad, which wakes up the llama. And for some reason, his spit turns the lava into water. Kinda gross, but convenient for us. So, this is a lot easier of a task than Diddy's. Actually, I think Diddy's is the most complicated process of freeing a Kong. This one, somewhat. And now we just hit the switch, and there. Easy. Cool move, DK. I gotta get some fresh air. I'll help you by collecting blue bananas. Come and find me in the tag barrel. So yeah. 2 Kongs unlocked, and that makes things go a lot faster than if they had made Lanky be freeable in the next level, and the last Kong be freeable in level 4, and blah blah blah. Just speeds the gameplay up by quite a bit. So, now that we are in here, I'm trying to think, are there any coins? I don't believe there are, actually. So, we'll exit the temple for now, and we'll come back for the collectibles. This is an example of what I mean by transparent collectibles. You can't, because DK can only collect yellow things, blue bananas and other stuff will appear transparent to him. So, but moving along, we're going to get Lanky's collectibles and get him all prepped for Angry Aztec. And we know Squawk's dialogue already, so I won't bother repeating it. You guys have heard that enough. We'll first get his gun. It's here. It's convenient. And we get a grape shooter. Nice. Reminds me of a sniper rifle now that I'm looking at it. Probably the closest thing to describe it if we're comparing the weapons in this game to actual guns. So, now, go in the cave. Lanky gets another 4 coins, lucky bastard. So, get to get Cranky's potion. Alright, so this is the Orang-san, Pomus Walkum. So another, not a pad or a barrel move, just his regular move. Oh, crap. I forgot to go through the dialogue prompt. So, essentially how this move is controlled, you press Z and then you hold B. And you just hold Z after you're done, and it allows you to walk around doing a handstand. It can be faster, but what it allows you to do is it allows you to walk up steep slopes. So, when we were in Jungle Japes, you might have remembered that I unlocked a gate with Diddy using the Peanut Pop Gun, but I mentioned that we couldn't access it because the ground was too steep for us to go up. Lanky has that ability. He can go up steep slopes using this ability. So I'll just give a quick demonstration. It's kind of... Actually, yeah, this works. He can walk no problem. Otherwise, let's slide right down. but that ability lets you just ignore that. So, yeah. A lot of Lanky's moves to get around are quite useful too, just spinning and doing jumping ropes with his arms. And now we get Trombone Trimmer. So, yeah, that's his musical instrument. And just like that, we have all the stuff for Lanky. You just gotta know where a few of the coins are. So, in the next part, we're going to continue exploring Angry Aztec and finally get around to collecting more of the golden bananas and see what more the level has to offer. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.